Hello everybody, welcome to another Reds video. This has nothing to do with the Langoni situation. This is about Peyton Miller, and I briefly talked about it a little bit in the last video I did. I believe I mentioned him but never went into detail, and the reason why, because there was a move that happened yesterday in MLS. Not officially yet. It's not official, but Tom Bogart was the one who really tweeted it out. Now, for those who don't know, I am a big Crystal Palace fan. So when I heard news from Crystal Palace chatter that Xavier Gozo was going from Real Salt Lake to Crystal Palace, I went, whoa, 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 whoa. And then Tom Bogart put the tweet out, and I was like, oh, this is a juicy one. And again, I didn't think of Peyton Miller at the time. And then when I saw Tom Bogart's tweet come out talking about he's a winger / wingback, because again, I don't follow Real Salt Lake. I don't. I'm a Revolution fan. That's mainly what I focus on. But when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. I remember a month ago, the report came out that Crystal Palace was in talks with the Reds for Peyton Miller. I remember that. And I was like, that's when it dawned on me, did Crystal Palace pivot from Miller to Gonzo? Now, I went to go look at his stats. Now, first off, he's 19 years old. He's slightly older, 1 year older than Peyton Miller, but we're picking hairs at this point with that. Peyton Miller's only 5'7". 5'11" is Gonzo. And this is the big thing. Going throughout this play this year, Peyton Miller's market value has been 5.3 mil. Gonzo's is 7.4, so he's worth more. Now, we've been hearing from people in the Rebs community about how great Peyton Miller is. And again, I am not going to dismiss that, because I do think Peyton Miller is one of the top young prospects out there. But is he the best young one out there? I don't think so. And yesterday, I think, kind of proved it. Because the fee I saw that was reported was basically 15 mil. You're not going to get 15 mil from Miller. And I'm wondering if the Revs are overselling Miller. And the reason why I'm thinking that is because they're doing it with Langoni. With their process because Montreal wants to buy him, and I think the Revs are reportedly treating him as a $7 million player, and Montreal doesn't want to give that to him. But if you look at both these players, Miller this year has had a rating of about 6.86. Not bad, not great, but pretty good. And he's played basically everywhere on the map. He's starting to play at right wing, but he's been mainly on the left side this year. If you looked at a heat map, you'd see he's more on the left than the right. But we're starting to see some darker colors on the right where he's starting to play. For Gozo, he can play both sides, but he is primarily on the whole right side. So the reason why I'm saying that is Gozo is clearly a right-sided player. Miller, they're starting to play him on the right side when he's been primarily on the left. But these are the big things that separate the two, and why Miller has not been sold yet, and why the Palace pivoted from Miller to him. Minutes played this year. Miller is averaging 64, so he's not playing a full game. Gozo is 89. He's basically playing a full game. He's played almost 500 more minutes than Peyton Miller has. And in matches played, Miller's only played in 15. Gozo's played in 16. So there's a big difference there. So if anyone wanted to say, look at it, injuries with Miller and all that, no, it had nothing to do with that. Now, goals-wise, they're pretty similar between the both of them. Miller has 4. Salt Lake City has 6. And I also want to point out that when you look at Real Salt Lake and the Revs as team-wise comparing them, they've scored basically the same amount of goals. The only difference is the Revs are a slightly better defensive team. There's not that much difference between both these clubs. So remember that. But the thing that's big is Gozo has scored 6 goals. His XG is 4.01, so he's punching above his weight when it comes to goals. With Peyton Miller, it's 4.14, so he's slightly below it. Slightly. But this is the big thing, and it's been one of the key things that has been a criticism of Peyton Miller. A big one, and this is the reason why Gozo got sold to Palace and Miller did not. I'm not saying that Miller's not going to be sold, by the way. I'm just saying this is the reason why Palace pivoted. It's passing. Assists. Miller has 1 assist all year. Gozo has 4. And this is the big one. The huge one. Expected assists, XA, 3.79. Again, he's punching above it. 1.37 for Miller. He's below it. But then here, this is the huge one. Again, I said huge. This is it. Big chances created. Miller has created 1 big one all season. Gozo has created 8. He has shown his playmaking ability this year. This is why when Palace saw he was available, they pounced. And they said he would be a better player than Miller. I don't disagree at all. Because, again, Peyton Miller hasn't improved in his playmaking ability. He's fast, yes. Can he put the ball in the net sometimes? Yes. His crossings suck, and he hasn't been able to create. What about defending? Defending, I put him kind of in the same thing. That's why when I look at both they're wingbacks. They're wingers/wingbacks. Both of them can defend. I wouldn't say one's better than the other, technically speaking. But they are pretty good for both of them. But the big thing is Gozo this year took off because he's become not just a goal scorer, he's become a goal contributor. Miller hasn't done that. He has the ability, but he hasn't done that. That's the reason. I guarantee you, if Miller before the break had gotten his assist totals to 5 and 6 and he was becoming a playmaker, especially when Langoni was shelved with an injury, there's a very good chance, I believe, Palace would have gone after Miller instead. Because he's a year younger and he's shown flashes and he's just starting to get into his groove. But because he hasn't gotten better, that's the reason why Palace pivoted and went with Gozo, who I think is a better rounded player. Now, do I think he could be sold? Miller. Yes. But do I think it's going to be to these big clubs that people keep pointing out with? I thought Palace would be a really good fit with him. He's not that guy still. So I could see Miller being sold to a second-hand European team, like a PSV, like Esmir got sold to. But I don't think these big clubs are going to buy a Peyton Miller that can score every now and then, but other than that, he has no playmaking ability that he showed this year. Like I said, 1 assist. That's it, 1 assist. And his assist XG, like I said, is 1.37. So it's still not good. And he's performing worse than that. Gonzo's exceeding. He is. Xavier is exceeding. Now, do I think, and I'm going to say this, do I think Palace is out on Peyton Miller? Because like I said, they pivoted off him. No, I don't think so. But I do think it's very unlikely. And do I think he's going to be sold this deadline? I don't see it. I do not see it, especially with the rumors I keep hearing. If Langoni is sold, he will just become a U22. If he's becoming a U22, he's not moving, at least this year. And we could be seeing another no-buck situation here where he has a chance to go, doesn't go, and he's now stuck in purgatory of MLS. He can't stay healthy now in San Jose. Like, that's the situation I think we're heading towards. If Peyton Miller can't get his playmaking ability up, he's in trouble. And I don't think the Revs are going to get a lot of money for him. Not the $15 million that Xavier just is going to get. If I was a team trying to buy Peyton Miller, I'll give you a 7. I'm not joking when I say that. I give him 7. Because he can't play make. That's the problem. He has everything else. He just can't create. He can. And before anyone goes, oh, it's because the strikers can't do anything. 1.37. If he was creating and his strikers couldn't put it in, whoever it was, whether it was Dorr, Campana, I know Campana hasn't been here, but I'm just saying. I'm just telling you. It's not good. And before anyone, and by the way, anyone who was asking, what about last year? Did he get worse last year? He technically did. Last year he had 2 assists, 2.34. I just looked this up. Big chances created, 3. He's gotten worse this year. He has. And they put him at winger this year. And he still can't do anything. I've heard people say he's not a winger. I agree on that. I agree. Where would I put Peyton Miller? I think he's a wide midfielder. That's what I see him as. I don't see him as a winger. I see him as a wide midfielder. That's honestly what I see. When he was playing on the left, I saw him as a left mid. I still see him as a left mid. But that's my thoughts on the Peyton Miller thing. As usual, thank you for watching. Take care. I will see you next time. That's all my thoughts on the Peyton Miller thing. And why I think it is related to Xavier Gonzo possibly going to Palace.